Alright guys, let's get into lesson 5 for science. At the top of your page, write science 8, 10.5 for lesson 5, unit 10. Today we'll be talking about consumable energy sources. And of course, where the yellow highlighted, this will be the answers to the questions, so please follow along. Okay, starting with the first one. What is something that is naturally contained within something else and therefore always a part of it? It is inherent. Next one. Able to replace, but never never in danger of running out, renewable. Something that holds or retains, retention. And a machine that has spinning blades and converts some form of fluid energy to rotational motion, turbine. So, not only do humans consume water and food, but we are primary users of the world's most energy sources. Our complex lives are made richer by the use of energy. Some of this energy is for heating our homes or cooking our food. Other energy used is for transportation. We use energy when we manufacture goods and for creation of work. We must be able to be aware of using fuels to produce energy that can be added to pollution problems of the water and the atmosphere. Burning fuels adds the amount of hydrocarbons and nitrogen oxide in the atmosphere. Much energy we use in the form of electricity. To make electricity, we use other forms of energy. These other forms of energy, such as heat and radioactivity, must be converted by means of generating plants. Most of these electrical generation plants are powered with non-renewable fuel sources. Most power plants in the United States are fueled by oil, coal, natural gas, and nuclear materials. Some power plants are powered by water, wind, solar energy, or steam from natural resources. The fossil fuels and nuclear materials are consumable resources. These fuels form the bulk of our electrical generating capacity worldwide. Each of these consumable fuels have disadvantages and require special management. Oil, coal, and natural gas, the fossil fuels, have been the most commonly used fuels by making electricity. Most of the power plants that use these fuels work in the same way. These fuels are burned to generate heat, which is used to make steam. The steam is then used to turn a large fan called a turbine. That turbine then turns a generator which produces the electricity. The disadvantage of fossil fuels basically fall into two areas. First one being fossil fuels are limited, and burning fossil fuels create smoke which contain hydrocarbons, nitrous oxides, and particles, carbon dioxide, sulfur, and sometimes carbon monoxide. When we say fossil fuels are limited, we don't mean we are about to run out of these fuels. There are very large deposits of coal in many countries of the world. The United States is especially blessed with large deposits of coal. However, these deposits are not renewable. Coal is being formed today in a very limited amount, but is very much mined much faster than being formed. The burning of fossil fuel creates pollutants. Most power plants have special techniques for managing these pollutants and keeping them from escaping into the atmosphere. Coal-powered plants often have coal washing areas to wash sulfur from the coal before it is burned. Coal power plants will also scrub the smoke to keep from polluting the air. However, many of the world's coal-burning power plants are not so efficient and modern. Many of these plants are still polluting the atmosphere and the water. Oil and natural gas burn cleaner than coal, yet they still put hydrocarbons and carbon dioxide into the air. The power plants that use these fuels must manage the emission and clean the smoke. Nuclear power plants are very clean and do not normally pollute the air or water. However, they still face the two issues we have mentioned. There is a limited supply of fusionable material. When these fuels are used in the plant, they spent but still radioactive materials must be deposited carefully. Nuclear power plants must also deal with the possibility of thermal pollution. They use large amount of water as a coolant to keep the reactors from overheating. The water then must be allowed to use its heat in large retention ponds before it could be released into the waterways. Though nuclear power plants face these challenges, this means that producing electricity will become even more important in the future than it is now. The dangers can be managed, and nuclear power plants will become more efficient and therefore more important in the future. Alright guys, this is lesson 5 of Unit 10 of Science. Thank you for tuning in.